Okay, welcome to episode 3, Hex Bonds. What are we looking at today? So, I am going to make a farm, and I'm going to decide whether or not I should mint a Hex bond or purchase, because already, whether you're just joining it or you've been from the start, there is already a market. People have already minted, they've bought and they've sold Hex bonds, and there's prices. So, obviously, for me, it's obvious to me, I want to earn as much Hex as possible. So, if I was to make a stake and mint, if we go to the native Hex staking now, I can see I've bought 10,000 Hex a minute ago. Now, if I stake that 10,000 Hex, let's get the calculator out. So day 3,000, I'm going to do the day 3,000 to take off the current day. So for 539 days, if I stake that for 539 days, it would give me 0.227 T shares. So if I take my 10,000 Hex, times it by the T share, 0.277, times that by the 539 days we're doing it, T share times, not the principal, times the days you're doing it, times what we're going to average. Now, we've been averaging about 1.5 Hex per day per T share for a very long time. So times the 1.5, and we'll get 229, let's say 224 Hex at the end of the stake, on top of the principal back. With the current markets, I know I can get more than that by not staking. So, I'm in for the long term. I'm happy to purchase then a Hex bond at day 3,000, knowing it's just discounted Hex, and come that redemption date, I can redeem that much Hex. So let's see what we can do. I've got 10,000 Hex, so I want to sell half of that into a Hex bond, because I then want to pair them in liquidity so I can farm for the Hex bond rewards. If I was to buy the Hex bond 3,000 with 5,000 Hex, I could get 6,367. So you can see that. So that's 1,367 Hex. That's a lot more than 223 from staking. So because this market's available, I could actually earn more Hex doing this, or by buying it. However, there is other Hex bonds on other protocols, and we can wrap and unwrap. So I would always suggest looking to see whether you can get a better deal. Now, if I spent 5,000 on a HTT 3,000, it says I could get 6,435. Excellent. It's an extra 100 odd, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. Whatever. Okay. I could buy the HTT, wrap it into HB 3000 and have more. Potentially, there is a 1% fee. So I'm going to take that 6,435. If I take away 1%, so I'm going to times it by 0.99 to represent what it would be when I take 1% off. And it's 6,370. If I just buy the Hex bond, it's 6,367. By God, I could make an extra 3 Hex. And you go, look, if it was a bit more than that, I would do it. But come on, 3 Hex, it's going to be negligible, having paid the gas fees for 2 or 3 transactions. So I'm not going to bother. But I implore you to always look, because I want you to get the best deal possible. So I know actually I'm absolutely fine buying the HB 3000. Let's buy it. So by keeping the numbers simple with that 10,000 Hex, exactly half of that is 5,000. So I know in USD dollar terms, what I've just now purchased in Hex bond and what I've still got in Hex are the same. So I'll be able to add all of that to liquidity together in a 50-50 US dollar split. So as soon as this is done, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to, I'm going to stay in Pulse X, I'm going to create the liquidity pair, and then I'm going to farm that on HEX bond. Okay, come on. Come on, Pulse Chain, why are you so slow? All right, so, hey Puffy, I'm doing a video. I've got the HEX bond, marvellous. So, give it a few seconds to, there you go, I've got the balance. I've got 5,000 HEX left, and I've got that 6,367 HB-3000. So, let's go to liquidity. Let's go to add liquidity. We're going to say HEX and HB-3000. Yeah, I'm going to say all of my HEX. Okay, new wallet, so I'm going to have to do all the approving. But let's approve away. It'll take a minute. Just so you know, I appreciate that I need to start learning video editing so I can cut out all of this waiting. That's something on my list to do. Good God, there it is, it's done. Approval 1. Now I've got to approve the HB, and we're going to be all over again. If it starts making any longer, I might have to start singing. Yeah, so let's hope that this one goes through quicker. Okay, a little bit quicker, thank God. All right, so I've done the approvals. So now what I want to do is do that supply. All right, so what do we want to supply? All of that. Now what's up? Come on. There's the little green button. Come on. Dare I refresh? Oof. Got to get a new laptop. This is very slow. Okay, I'm going to supply that liquidity, and we're going to wait an hour probably for this. So what I'm doing now, for those, I'm sure you're very aware, but a liquidity position is where you basically I'm sending those two values into a contract. But what it sends me is like a receipt in the form of a token. It's called a PLP token. So that receipt knows exactly how much, it knows your ratios when you put in. Obviously over time, the values in those LPs change, but it's a receipt for your provision. That is then, when that's in the wallet, that's what we then upload to the HEX bond farming contract to earn our HEX bond rewards. All right, so what this transaction is doing is, say, sending those two tokens to the liquidity contract. Hey, there you go. Now I've got my PLP token. You could find it in your wallet. It has a CA of its own, but HEX bond picks it up nice and easy. So I've got my liquidity provision. Let's go over to HEX bond. I'm going to click into the farms. Yeah. And we did 3,000, didn't we? So nice, 78% APR. Lovely, lovely. Over here then, because I've got that provision in my wallet, I'm just going to click max, and you'll see I've got something. It says here, look, 36 bucks worth. It says that's how much HB and that's how much HEX. Marvellous. 100 is the percentage I want to put in. All of it. Of course I do. And we're we've got to approve again. Come on, speed up. Come on. All right, but once this is approved, I'll then add it, and then that liquidity is earning me HEX bond rewards. Okay, so whilst it's doing that one, I'm making a video to show you. I want to do this anyway. I will be putting my money in here. Why? We talked about why HEX bond rewards is a valuable token. So in the last video, so this is a way for me for earning it. I'm certainly not going to be selling it. Anything that I earn here, I will be putting into the vault so I can earn more HEX bonds through the minting, wrapping and unwrapping fees. If you watched the video yesterday, if we talked about or even looked at the chart, HEX bond rewards has gone up. There seems to be purchasing power. There seems to be burning. People don't seem to be selling. All right, so I've approved it. So let's stake. Come on in. Last one, and then I'm done. So now, once this is done, as I say, we'll be able to see the HBR rewards, and they fly up. Yeah, it's brilliant to see. So a really interesting mechanic here, or strategy you could see, is that people add the liquidity, so we're sharing that APR, so the APR goes down. The reward token itself pumps, making the US dollar value of it go up, and then the APRs go up. So although there's more liquidity, the APR is still actually getting higher and higher, even though we're sharing it with more people. That would then entice or incentivize more liquidity to be added, boosting that liquidity, boosting that price, giving that price more of a floor and more of a ceiling, you know, with more liquidity in the reward token. Now, I'm not actually adding liquidity to the reward token, am I? But there is two farms that do that, and that's got some healthy APR at the moment. So I'm now in the farm, and here you go. Look, oh, it's just going up. I'm trickling my HEX bond rewards. So if you're going to make liquidity, do you mint the HEX bond or do you purchase? All on the dashboard, we can see the discount to all the HEX bonds, and none of them are the same price as HEX. There's your discount. So unless you're doing, in my opinion, and I'd really like to hear other opinions because none of them are right or wrong, it's just an opinion, but for me personally, unless I'm staking to one of those larger long dates, playing the long game, expecting the T-share count to go up, HEX per T-share, it makes sense for me to purchase the HEX bonds to add to liquidity. I will make more HEX doing that on the 3,000, 4,000. Probably not so much with the further out ones because obviously you're staking for a very long time. But that's the video today, guys. I farmed. Let's just have a look again. There you go. Look. Oh, look, it's going up. It's only going in one direction. I'll harvest that probably in a few days and add my little bit to the vault. But until the next video, I'll see you soon.